let's normalize that it is okay to feel our feelings. I really truly think we need to normalize that it is okay to feel our feelings. When we are hurt, we are grieving, we are processing the emotions, when we are coming in or out of a relationship, let's normalize that grieving and dealing with the pain and the heartache is okay. So many people come to manifesting to fix something in their life, and then we're told, oh, sorry, you can't feel those feelings. You have to push those down. You have to force yourself over them to think positive. Now, there's a difference between normalizing being hurt and grieving and being in a negative space. So there's two different things here that we need to talk about with normalizing it's okay and not being in a negative space. I'm grieving and I'm having a really hard time with this grief because on top of the grief is a loss of hope. And with that loss of hope, there's extra feelings on top of it as to how to process this. So, what do? We have to normalize it's okay to be hurting. This is Susie, your beautiful your beautiful swan queen. Welcome back to the garden, my beautiful duckling. Thank you for subscribing, smashing the like button, sharing my video. I love you. I am the best life coach with a 99.6% success rate in helping people get together with the love of their life. When you want to work with me one-on-one, join my paid Facebook group, upscale your money, buy t-shirts from my daughter and her bestie, my subliminals. Those links are in the description below. I am offering a Valentine's Day special, 50% off my text calls. So if you want to do a 1-hour text call or a 30-minute text call, I am doing a 50% discount now through the end of the month, January 31st, 2023. In the community posts, you will find the links, and the discount code is Love Wins. So when you're ready to get clarity, change your life, I do absolutely incredibly amazing things through text, and I would love to help you get your Valentine's Day wish this year. So I'm going through the loss of somebody, and I'm having a little bit of a hard time, not a little bit, I'm having a really hard time processing this and dealing with this. And it's shocking to me. It's also the loss of hope. It is not been able to talk to this person for many, many years. I was working on manifesting to be able to talk to them again. It's not something where I could just slide into an inbox and go, hey. It had to be a little bit more delicate. So I stopped micromanaging the middle a long, long time ago. And it was more to the end. I've reconnected with this person. We have a great relationship. My life is just incredibly amazing knowing that I've reconnected with this person, and that didn't happen. So the loss of hope on top of the grief has been tremendous. And my mentor gave me some great advice. She said, make sure that you deal with the grief even when you're doing other things. Being quiet is grieving. Being quiet is grieving. Distracting is healing. So when you need to be quiet, be quiet. When you need to distract, distract. But how does this pertain to a heartache? Because when somebody is heartbroken over a relationship, that is a bigger loss sometimes to us than if that person actually passed away. And other times you're heartbroken because that person passed away, and you are no longer the same. So what do we do to normalize that the pain that we feel is okay? Most of manifesting teaches that we have to be positive. We can't be negative. And we have to force the negative down and cover it with positive until the positive becomes true. So we're telling a lie until it becomes true. And when this lie becomes true, our life is magically going to be better. Well, in a specific person relationship, there is the heartache, and then there is negativity. So negativity is, this person's not doing this person's not doing this person's not doing this. I text them, they ignored me. I called them, they clicked my call off. They've left me on red. They read my message. They didn't respond. They canceled dates. That is a form of a negative cycle. And that form of a negative cycle is you're constantly talking about the behavior they are doing that you don't like. So they're ghosting you. They're not showing up for you. They're not meeting your needs. And you're constantly telling this story. And I see this in marriages a lot, where the guy says, the ball and chain doesn't do anything for me. And the woman says, all he cares about is his video games. That's a negative situation that can easily be changed. Grief for the relationship. For example, they did something and you talked to them about it and they said, I've already told you this. I told you what happened. I can't keep going over and over with this. Well, they haven't brought you clarity. They haven't brought you to a sense of relief in the situation. And because you don't have relief and clarity, you're still in a state of chaos about the situation, which is why a lot of people talk about the main thing that was wrong in a relationship. So we're going to use the example of cheating. Somebody cheats on you, and it doesn't matter if you're a guy and your girl cheated on you, you're a girl and your guy cheated on you. Somebody cheated on you. You don't know 100% that they actually cheated on you. You suspect it. And this is the story we're going to use today, that you think they cheated on you. You do not have proof. They came to you and you had a conversation and they told you, we can't keep discussing this. The reason you need to discuss this is because you're heartbroken. And that's the same thing with grief. You're heartbroken. You're grieving the old relationship and the way it was, because now this new normal is this person a cheater? Is this person hurting you? Is this person doing things behind your back that you don't know about? Are you being played? And until you get clarity and relief, which is closure in the situation. So when somebody passes, you can't get closure. So in my case, losing this person is a grief because I never got to have that conversation with them. This is one of two people that if I could sit with for an hour and have a conversation, I would drop everything and run for this conversation. And I can't do that anymore. And that hurts. But when we lose somebody in a relationship and we break up, it doesn't hurt any less. It truly doesn't hurt any less. Think about parents who lose a child and are completely heartbroken. That hurt doesn't go away. Time teaches us not to talk about it and not to make a big deal out of it, but it's still there. And that's the same thing with manifesting a specific person. What happened in the past that caused your relationship to go into what I'm just going to call chaos? It isn't a chaotic situation and you are manifesting them back. What happened? Can you let that situation go? So they said, I didn't do anything with this person, and you don't have that sense of relief or closure that what they're saying is true. Can you move past with the apology you got and never bring it up in the future? So this happened in the past, and they said, you know, this is what happened. I'm sorry that you're hurt, but I didn't do anything wrong. And in the future, they do something and you're in a relationship again, you can't bring up this situation. You can't bring it up because they honestly think that the situation is done and over with. But you're over here and they did something and you're like, well, this is just like the last time. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Well, when I thought you cheated on me and you gave me this, you know, apology for it, but I don't know, like, is this the same situation again? And that's what happens when we're recreating these relationships. We're going back and forth. So we have to find clarity. We have to find relief so that we can be 100% confident that this situation is the way this person described it. So that when we go into the future, that this situation is no longer an issue in your life and that it can never be brought up again. So we grieve. We have heartbreak and heartache. And manifesting is like, oh, ignore that. We can't ignore it though. And I do this with clients every day. And I am so thankful for my mentor. I am so thankful for her. I am so thankful for one of my beautiful ducklings. She's been messaging me every day. I am so thankful for one of my friends. Those 3 ladies have been my rock. Savannah is always here and she's doing the best that she can. And other people don't understand because they're like, but you haven't talked to this person. Well, it's like no contact. Think about this. It's like I was in no contact and I was working to bring contact. This is the same thing you're doing with your specific person. You're in no contact, but you haven't properly grieved. You haven't properly laid the relationship and the past, the way the relationship ended, to rest. So you instead buried that inside of you and you're trying to force anew, but you don't have closure. So how do you get closure in the relationship and the way it was in the past? It's a little bit of a balance, okay? In my case, there's always going to be a what if because this person passed away. What if? What if I'd been a little bolder? What if I just said, to hell with it, I'm going to just do this? What if I did slide into their inbox and said, hey, remember me? Would that have started something new? So I'm going to have all of these what if questions. But with your specific person, obviously they're still alive. So instead of what if, it's why do I get closure so we can move forward? So you're not in a negative spiral. And that's what I think we need to normalize, that you're grieving. You're heartbroken. You're not being negative. You're not over here going, well, they're ignoring me. I text them and they're ignoring me. I called them, they ignored me. They set up a date and they didn't show up for the date. You're over here going, like, I want to move forward with them, but this specific story keeps holding me back. It's grief, guys. It's heartbroken, and heartbreaking leads you to be grieving the relationship. And you're grieving the relationship because you saw this relationship as incredible, amazing, wonderful, loving, fun, romantic. One of those or all of those. You saw this future with this person and something happened and it shattered that future. It shattered the way you look at the future. So when you say, it's okay that I'm hurting, but I'm not going to yell at anybody. I'm not going to berate anybody. I'm going to find somebody that I can talk to that will listen and maybe help me get clarity. Or I'm going to sit down and write it all out. But I'm not going to write it out with, they did this, they did this, they did this. I'm going to write a question at the top of the page. Why do I get closure in this situation? What do I need to get closure in this situation? What do I need to get closure in this situation? Why do I get closure so I can move forward? So we want better questions. So we're going to take out that piece of paper and that pen, and we're going to write it at the top of the page. What do I need to have closure in this situation? And you're going to write down, well, I need to know that they didn't actually betray me, that they were actually faithful. I need proof that they were faithful. But at first, you're going to write it like this. I need to know they're not a cheater. I need to know they didn't have adult relations with this person. I need to know that they weren't going behind my back lying. See where I'm going? So you need to know these things are not true. So you start writing all of this. And then once you get it all out, and I suggest you write the question, then you pick up your pen, count to 3, and say, I can do this. Put your pen down and just write. Don't lift your pen up off the paper. Just write. And continue to write. Doesn't matter how many pages until you get it out. And then when you're done, set your pen down. Go get something to drink. And then come back with your drink, preferably non-alcoholic, cold coffee, iced tea, hot coffee, a pop, a glass of water, because you don't want to be fuzzy. And then read this. And as you're reading this, take a separate piece of paper, and how can you put this into another question? So I need proof that they didn't sleep with this person. I need proof that they're not lying. I need proof that they are not a cheater. So you go over to your next page and you write at the top of the page, why do they give me proof that they are faithful? Now, faithful can be interchanged with something else, okay? This is what we're using. And then you go through and write again on a piece of paper with your pen. Don't pick up the pen. Write everything you can until you write it all out. Once you're done, set the pen down. Pick up your drink. Take a drink. Catch your breath. Go to the ladies' room. Go to the men's room. Come back, sit down, and look at what you wrote. And see what you wrote out. And then from there, what did you write out? So you wrote out what you saw as them giving you proof that they were faithful. So we go to this page. And why do I get closure and able to move forward? Are there any answers in these two pieces of writing that you can put underneath there? Because we're going to build answers so that you can get this process out. If there are no answers in either one of these papers, that's okay. Now we can create answers. So why do I get closure? So we can move forward in this relationship. Why do I get closure? So we can move in together. Why do I get proof he was faithful and we can move in together and ride off into the sunset and live happily ever after? Question mark. And then let's change this thing. Let's make a phrase. Let's do universe. Thank you for showing me that they're faithful. Thank you for giving me proof that they are faithful. Thank you for giving me proof that I am important to them. Thank you for... So when we're walking around, we went from this heartbreak to possible moving forward to creating how to move forward game plan. It is the same thing with the loss of a loved one. somebody passes away, what happens, and it's probably a really good thing that I've watched Slumberland a lot, because Jason Momoa has actually helped me deal with the situation. Because Agent Green in the movie says, we don't give you the dream you want. In Slumberland, we give you the dream you need. And then she said, eventually what will happen is something will become more important. And you won't grieve as much. So I'm not out there looking for something more important, but I'm realizing the thoughts I have are like dreams. And what I need isn't maybe what I really need. Maybe there's something else I need out there for closure. And the distraction technique, it's always that way when a loved one passes. When a loved one passes on, time teaches us how to live with it. It doesn't take away the pain. It doesn't lessen the pain. It teaches us how to live with it. And because time teaches us how to live with the pain, we don't think it's normal to feel the pain anymore. We don't think it's normal to be hurting. And I have a loved one that passed away February 13th of 2014. And I don't look forward to Valentine's Day because I think about this loved one no longer being here every year. But I want that love, and I want everybody to have that love. So I want you to have that closure on why the relationship fell apart, so that you can move forward as to why this relationship is great again. And if you are a grieving parent, you are a grieving partner, you are a grieving friend, know that time just teaches you to live with it. I'm not going to tell you, I'm sorry, they're in a better place, because that doesn't work. It's the same thing with the relationship. We're being told, oh, I'm sorry, but maybe this is for the best. It's not for the best. Even when somebody has an illness and passes, saying that they're out of pain doesn't ease our grief. And that's what we're doing with heartache. That's what we're doing with the chaos of the relationship and the way it was in the past. And that's what's blocking us from creating the future. So when you want to grieve, it's okay. When you want to hurt, it's okay. What's not okay is to constantly tell your person, we have to have a conversation about this, because they think they've cleared the conversation up. So you have to ask yourself, how do they give me closure? How do they give me closure so we can move forward in a relationship, move in together, get married, right off into the sunset? Because unless you're asking the right question, you're stuck in that pain. You're stuck in, why aren't you letting this go? And I've been dealing with my grief, and I've also helped a few people this week. And I've canceled a bunch of calls this week, and I thank all of you ladies who let me reschedule. But the beginning of my week, I didn't actually have Monday and Tuesday off. The beginning of my week, I was working with some people, and I got them to get closure in their relationship. And I was literally quoting that line. You're not given the dream you want, you're given the dream you need. And eventually something else is going to be more important, and you're going to let go of the grief, because this is more important. So how do we get you to let go of what happened in the past so you can ride off into the sunset and have that beautiful relationship is the most important thing for me when I'm coaching you. So it might not be right away, oh, say this phrase and this is going to give you your relationship. In the beginning, it might be, how do I give you closure? How do I close the past of this relationship so that you can move forward? We ought to let go of this so you can have a healthy that. And I know that sounds complicated. It's not really. Sometimes it's one session, sometimes it's a couple sessions, Sometimes it takes longer than that because what you think you're grieving isn't really what you're grieving. It's like an abandonment issue. All men leave me. In my world, everybody comes back. Everybody comes back. And it started with something that happened in my childhood. Somebody left, they came back. They left, they came back. They left, they came back. It was chaos. The people that I cut off are relationships I choose not to invest my time, effort, or energy into because they add zero value to my life. But this is one of two people that I would give anything to have an hour conversation with. And if you could have an hour conversation with your specific person and get closure, you would be able to move forward in your manifesting journey to get them back. And I hope that this video helps somebody that is going through the process of still hurting, because I'm not going to give you this cookie cutter affirmation. I'm going to tailor an affirmation, a question, a phrase, a statement for you that is going to specifically help you on your journey. But my first thing is to give you closure. Closure on the situation so that when you're saying this phrase, you feel better. And then you feel confident. And then when you feel confident, you start seeing that things are shifting. But they can't shift if we're in chaos. They can't shift if we are holding on to this pain, because that pain is stopping our future from materializing. And I know that's contrary to what a lot of manifesting teaches, but how many people die of a heartbreak? They don't get what they want, so they get heartbroken. How many people are told by people, oh, it's because you're heartbroken and that's why you're sick. It's because you're heartbroken and that's why things aren't working. Heartbreak is a true thing. And you may not realize you're heartbroken because of a past situation. But if you can't let go of this story, it's because you are heartbroken, and we need to deal with the heartache. We need to deal with it. We need to heal it so that you can move forward. And know that I am here to help you do that. When you come to me, I'm literally not going to sit there and say, stop talking. I will stop you at times, and I will put my hands out and say, stop, because I know you're getting emotional and overwhelmed, and I don't want you to cry. My goal is to give you relief, not more pain. Know that feeling hurt, upset, frustrated, angry is okay in grief. So why isn't it okay when a situation causes a breakup? A situation causes you to be stuck in a hell loop and not able to move forward. It's normal, guys. It's just like sometimes Mondays are manic. It's just another manic Monday for me. And in today's day, this manic Monday, it's chaos. And I'm okay with that for the moment. And know that I am here. I missed my video yesterday. I just couldn't do it. I tried. I got it all set up and I just went to bed. I got up and I looked at it and I'm like, no, So I went downstairs and hung with Chance and Ophelia. Time heals nothing. It just teaches you how to live with it. To truly heal it, you have to be willing to take a leap of faith and get out of your comfort zone. And you need to get closure. Closure is the only way to heal pain. Unfortunately, when somebody passes away, we never truly get closure, which is why the pain doesn't heal. But when it's a heartbreak and the person is still alive, we can get closure and move forward. I love you guys. You know, if you got this far in the video, Jason made that post. They found a donor for his friend Travis. Leave it in the comments. If you want to help somebody save their life, bethematch.org. The link is in the description below. I get zero out of doing this, absolutely nothing out of doing this. I am trying to help somebody that I adore to help somebody he adores. So if you want to be it, the link is in there. It takes you to their website. You can go through, look, see what you want to do. If you just want to help speak it into existence, leave it in the comments. As always, I love you, and my goal is to make sure that you have the best life possible, and anything I can do to help you to get that is a win-win in my book. So leave me a comment and let me know how I'm drastically changing your life for the better. And remember, you are human. You're allowed to have emotions, and it's okay. It truly, truly is okay. Just be gentle with yourself, my beautiful duckling, and know that I love you.